welcome or welcome back to the channel. I know I've been a little MIA. Thank you for your patience. I have been just busy with moving in stuff. I thought that life would settle down once we moved in, but I forgot how much work there is to do once you're actually in a place. There's a lot of moving in stuff that you have to do that I forgot about. So been busy with that. For the rest of the month, I will be uploading once a week, and then I'm hoping that by October, I can go back to 2 videos a week. We'll see. Regardless, I'm happy to be here. I hope you're happy to see me. And I have some fall book recs for you today. I did my first poll the other day on my community tab. So if you're ever wanting to partake in that, definitely make sure to vote in polls because I'll be doing those more often. But I had a poll asking what type of video y'all would want to see, and fall book recs won. So that's what we're doing today. Half of these are books that you can get on Kindle Unlimited, and the other half I tried to do books that I know for sure a majority of libraries have available. So there is always a way to read these for free or for cheap. But if you do want to buy the books, I'll also leave links down below for where you can buy them as well. These are all books that I have read and have given at least 4 stars, if not higher. To start off the Kindle Unlimited Recs, I have Accidentally Amy by Lynn Painter. I read this last fall, and y'all, obsessed. I'm obsessed. Like, it is so cute. This was what made me fall in love with Lynn Painter, and more specifically her adult romances. When I tell you I got butterflies. I got butterflies reading this, and I am not somebody who gets butterflies while reading almost ever, and I got butterflies while reading this. Our main female character is in a Starbucks one day, and she is running late for her new job. It's her first day at a new job, but she had to stop in Starbucks to get a pumpkin spice latte. If you know, you know. And while she's there, she's noticing that so many drinks are getting pushed out, but hers isn't. And she thinks maybe they forgot about her order, they're not sure. And this one drink for a woman named Amy has been sitting on the bar for a long time, and nobody's come to claim it. So she thinks, I mean, it's not that big of a deal if I take this Amy drink. Clearly she's not coming anytime soon. She can have my drink, I'll have hers. They're both pumpkin spice lattes. They're both made the exact same way. No biggie. I'm gonna take the Amy drink. She grabs it, and in a rush, she turns around to leave the store and bumps into our main male protagonist, who they end up having a little bit of banter. He sees the cup and says, "I hope to see you soon, Amy." And things go on from there. And for the majority of the book, he thinks that her name is Amy. So it's pretty funny. It's really sweet. It's just really cute. And I thought that the couple had really great chemistry, and it has all the fall vibes. So I definitely recommend checking this one out. I gave this a 5 stars when I read it. I don't know if I'd still give it 5 stars. This was a year ago, but I do really love it, and I really want to reread it soon. Moving on to a different genre entirely, Spine Shivers, The Grin in the Dark by J.A. Dark. Okay, fitting. This is a middle grade horror, and it's a novella, but when I tell you I'm very surprised that it's middle grade, it's creepy. I think it's considered a middle grade because the main protagonist is in middle school, but other than that, I don't know that I would necessarily read this as a middle schooler. It freaked me out at 27 years old when I read it, so it's creepy. But it's a good one if you're new to the horror genre, and it is available on Kindle Unlimited. There's also some artwork in it as well that I think is really well done, especially when you get towards the end of the book. Creepy. I specifically recommend this one for fall because it takes place during a stormy, rainy night, and that to me just gives fall energy. I'm pretty sure it takes place in fall, but if not, it feels like fall, so I recommend it. Another Kindle Unlimited rec, this is a thriller, Run on Red by Noelle W. Ely. This thriller I thought was such a good time. I know some people have different views on it. Some people love it, some people hate it. I recommend checking it out if you're someone who thinks you might love it. The premise is essentially that two girls are headed to a party and they notice someone's following them. And they are trying to escape these people following them, but the people following them are relentless and things happen from there. It also takes place in the early 2000s, so you get that kind of like Y2K sort of feel throughout the book. They talk about like the things that they're wearing, flip phones, stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, I recommend it. I had a good time. I want to say I gave it 4 stars and I read it this year. So that's a pretty high rating for me. My other 2 KU recs are books that I physically own. First up is Stolen Tongues by Felix Blackwell. I love this book. This is one of my favorite horror books ever. It is about skinwalkers. I don't know about you, but skinwalkers freak me the hell out. The other fun part of this book is that Felix Blackwell claims that these events happen to him. So that's kind of interesting, like to read a horror book that is loosely based on true events. And the events mainly take place with his fiance in the book. She gets messed with by some creepy entities. And this takes place in a cabin in the woods. It does technically take place in winter, I believe, but if I have an excuse to recommend this book, I'm going to recommend it, and this video is that for me, so I recommend it. My last Kindle Unlimited recommendation is another thriller, Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. When I tell you this book is the definition of unhinged, dude. Like, I still think about things that happened in this book. This book is crazy. Some people love it. Some people don't necessarily like it because some of the things that take place are honestly unbelievable. They're so crazy. But I think if you go into it just wanting to have a good time, which is how I went into the book, you'll enjoy it. Like, it's not meant to be that serious. It's not meant to feel like real life. It's a book. It's meant for fun. This is about Jack and Grace. They are a married couple that people see as picturesque. But Grace's friends start noticing that she's never seen without Jack. And if they try to hang out with her one-on-one, or even so much as call her on the phone, Jack is always there. And they start to get suspicious about why that is. Yo, there's a reason. The rest of these books are thriller and horror recommendations, which I know is a majority of this video. I just feel like that's very fall. Like, those are the books that I tend to read in fall, so those are the recommendations that I'm giving. I'm sorry if you were looking for more romance and things like that. Typically in the fall when I read romance, I don't necessarily read fall romance. I'll just kind of pick up any romance book in between all of the thrillers and horrors that I'm reading. So that would be my recommendation to you as well, if that's something that sounds of interest. But I don't have specific recommendations for that other than Accidentally Amy. The first one is a book I'm actually reading right now. I'm halfway through it. My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. This book deserves the hype. Like, I get it. I'm halfway through it right now. I'm listening to it on audiobook and I get it. This is exactly what you think it's about. A girl in high school whose best friend gets possessed by the devil. Or at least I think that's what's happening. That hasn't actually been revealed in the book yet, but based on the title, I assume that's what's happening. And I think you're meant to go into it assuming that's what's happening. Either way, this is a very good time. Next up, I have a thriller. This is one of my favorite thrillers of all time, The Chain by Adrian McKenty. I adore this. This is a thriller that if you want twist after twist after twist, this is it. This is about a woman who gets a text message one day saying that her child has been kidnapped, and in order to get her child back, she has to kidnap another child, thus continuing the chain. I don't know a better book premise than that, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know a better plot line, book tag. I can't think of one. Like, that is so enticing. And that is exactly what the book is about. And it is crazy from start to finish. Such a good time. This was absolutely 5 stars. Please read it. Your library probably has it. Next up is another slightly controversial take, Clown in a Cornfield. I am actually planning on reading the second one of this book in October because there's 2 out right now. I don't know if they're coming out with a third. I have no idea, but this is a YA slasher, which is kind of crazy in itself. This is about a small town where these kids are getting together for a party and these clowns appear and start killing children. Crazy. I will say there is a twist at the end of this book that is very controversial that I personally didn't like, but I like the book overall, so I still gave it 4 stars, and I'm excited to read the second one. Then we have what I guess is a horror, but it's also more of like a psychological something. Bunny by Mona Awad. This is actually an ARC copy that I found at my local used bookstore. I am the luckiest person alive. Yes, I am. Absolutely. This is a dark academia about a girl who goes to, I want to say Yale or Princeton, one of those. And there's this group of girls that call each other Bunny. And she has a class with them, and she at first kind of like makes fun of them and doesn't really get it. But once they invite her to partake in their weirdness, suddenly she's interested and starts becoming a bunny herself. And the things that take place throughout this book are crazy. If you reread the book, you'll get a different take on it from when you first read it. There's so much to unpack here. This is one of those books that when you're done reading it, you go on Reddit and you see everyone's theories about it. And you look up YouTube videos to see what other people think. And you can just inhale this book in so many different ways with so many different meanings that I definitely recommend it. And I specifically recommend it for fall because it has that dark academia sort of vibe, which I feel is very fall. Last but not least, you know I had to put some manga in here. This is Uzumaki by Junji Ito, but I really recommend any of his books. They are the definition of manga horror. Really any manga horror I recommend for the fall. Like, it's just such a good time. Imagine just cozying up with this, the warm drink, a blanket, it's raining outside, you're reading some horror. Like, that to me is the epitome of fall. And manga is such a good way to do that, especially if you're someone who's getting into reading or you need a break from regular reading. Like, I love manga as kind of a palate cleanser in between books. And Uzumaki specifically is a really good one, but honestly, any horror manga would work for this. Those are my recommendations for this fall. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you're able to check out at least one of these books. If you do, let me know how it is. And if you liked this video, you'll probably like my other content, so you should stick around. This is a judgment-free zone, so if that sounds appealing to you, welcome. And until next time, bye.